What's up, everyone? So today is a really exciting day, and I'm going to explain more in a minute, but I'm at my church right now and we are about to turn the first floor into a cave. Yeah. So here's the thing. We're not turning the entire first floor into a cave, and this room is like really echoey, so I apologize. But we're going to be turning the majority of the floor into it. And the only way I can describe it is it kind of reminds me of that show from the 90s called, what was it, Temple of Doom or something like that?
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
But essentially I was called on, and a good friend of mine who you'll meet soon, to do some carpentry work, which even that sounds kind of fancy. It's more of just some DIY stuff. This coming week we're having Vacation Bible School for the kids of our church, and we're turning the first floor into a big cave. So it's gonna be a busy day. Let's go check some stuff out. So check this out. These are going to be the main two pillars, and there's one up there. And we had a lot of ideas of how to build them, but we decided it's like foam insulation, expandable foam. And you just spray paint it and it looks like a pillar. Simple stuff like that. So first order of business is to take this down. You can see there's different parts that are not quite finished yet. I have to get these edges, kind of hide any of this stuff. And then of course, we have to finish spray painting. But the cool thing is, this is kind of hard to see right now, but the cool thing is it's actually built around foam board, which is super light, and yeah, it works pretty well. So, gotta get this finished. So the first thing I did was I attempted to pull these pillars down to get them outside. As I said, there were areas of the expandable foam insulation that needed to be sprayed. So I needed to get outside and get that done. And then of course, Anthony walked in my shop.
Oh. Hey.
He's a nice guy. I took it out there in the parking lot and went to work. We're using this for the spray foam on those guys. So let's get to that. When it comes out, it's got a weird texture, but when it hardens, it's much smoother. And here, I had to cut pieces for the end caps of the arch piece that was going across the top. So I simply just found out the size of the cut I needed, cut it, and then I used the spray foam to hold it in place. Pretty simple. Once that dried, I did the other side, and I hit it with spray foam later on. So help finally showed up. This is Andrew, everyone. So now we're going to be spray painting these pillars. I'm still waiting for the foam insulation to finish up on that one. I got to hit the end caps, but we're going to spray some. So. So this job went much faster once both of us were actually spray painting at the same time. This is pretty straightforward. There's a lot of yellow insulation foam that needed to be sprayed, and we sprayed as much as we could. we've made a lot of progress outside, but now we have to build a little bridge for the hallway. The hallway's mainly going to be pallets going through. It's going to be like, I don't know, fake water with pallets, like as if you're going to cross a bridge. I don't know if like the whole thing is a bridge, but we're actually building a little bridge here. So let me show you how we're doing it. We're going to take some 2x6s and we're going to put them across this pallet, and then we're going to essentially build slats across that. And can you pull up that picture you found? We're kind of going. Did you get the water? Yeah, man, thanks. We're essentially using this as the idea for the actual bridge itself. So it's going to have a slight curve, a little bit higher than the rest of the pallets. So here you can see Andrew and myself talking about how we're going to actually make the curve in the piece of wood. If you looked at that image from the phone, you can see that it's at a much more gradual curve, whereas you'll see in a second we actually used a piece of wood to draw a much straighter line from the corner or the edge to the center, as Andrew's marking center now. And we ended up going in that direction, which, because the bridge was so small, it worked out just fine. Once we got our marks, I went ahead and I cut the pieces, and then in the center I kind of cut it more so flat so that one piece would fit right across the top. And we used the center as the starting piece for the wood that we put on top. But you can see here I was cutting the first piece. After I finished that cut, you can see here that I cut the other side, and then we used this as the template for the other side of the bridge. Because we cut those at such a drastic angle, we were actually able to use them later on as ramps to go up onto the beginning of all these pallets. You can see here Andrew cut this piece of wood a little too tight. So he went back, and I think I actually helped him cut it again. Once he got the fit right, then he started screwing it in, and what I was doing is getting the cross pieces for the actual walkway. He continued to build supports for the center and other areas of this pathway. So we usually work pretty well together. We know what our jobs are, and we focus on those things, and we just get stuff done. So he's a good partner. It's really hot, but I've got an update for you. So this is where we're at right now. Got a little bit of an arc there. Not much, but just something. This will be in the center of the hallway. Do you remember how long the hallway is?
I don't think anybody ever measured.
It's pretty long. It's a pretty long hallway. So we just got to finish this, and then we should be heading inside, hopefully. So we decided to use C-stands for this room. Originally, we were thinking about hanging a PVC pipe off of the pipes on the ceiling, but we found out that we had access to these and it would be much easier. So essentially we're building a very small cave or cave entrance in this hallway. And as you can see, it was really hot outside. So we had to bring the entrance from the width of the door to the width of this hallway. So obviously it got larger as it got closer. And then it was just a matter of hanging, I think it was a combination of drapes and different materials over these C-stands as the cave walls. So it was pretty straightforward. All right, we're making some progress. So we put down some tarps. It's gonna be the walkway. We're actually using C-stands. We're gonna raise them up more and then We're gonna put like drapes over them or something, I don't know, whatever those are. And this will be the pathway. Put some tape down just so they don't move because there's 2 different sheets. And then we're gonna start the pallets. Soon the pallets are gonna go all the way down. And then we have this drawbridge, this little bridge thing that's gonna be like kind of more in the middle of the hallway. Yeah, so now I actually need to build like a ramp to actually go onto the pallets. So I'm gonna do that now. Now I'm back to making a ramp for the beginning and end of our pallet walkway. And what you'll see is that the pieces we originally cut were a bit too long. So what I ended up doing, and I had a lot of trouble with this, was I probably cut around 1/3 of it off, and then I leveled it to where if I screwed a pallet board on top of it where it would be touching the first pallet, they were at the exact same height. And doing it this way ended up working out a lot better. The only problem was it was really hard to cut. I think either having a table saw or maybe a table to work off with some actual clamps would have helped a lot. But use what you got, right? It all worked out in the end like it normally does, and that's all that matters. So I was in the middle of testing out pieces, and then I got pulled into another project, which you can see here. Now Andrew and I are in the hallway and things are getting crazy. So we were loading up pallets into the hallway, and as we loaded them up, we would try to nail them together, screw them together so they wouldn't move. And essentially we just took this arch or very small bridge we built and we put it on top of one of the pallets so that it sat a little higher. And then we just kept on having issues, and because there were little kids who were going to be a part of this BVS, we wanted to make sure we filled in all the gaps on each pallet. And to do that, we had to rip up pieces from other pallets. And this is kind of when things just kind of got crazy, and we were so busy and it took so long, and I am in the thick of editing and I have to share a few things with you guys. I didn't really capture everything I wanted to capture or thought I was going to capture, and there's a few reasons why, but I wanted to share those with you before I kind of went into the end of this video. So the first thing was, I think I was there for about 9 hours that day, and then Andrew, who came a little bit later, ended up being there like even longer than I was. So it was like a very, very long day. We had to do a lot of stuff, and I didn't have the time that I wanted to really capture what I wanted without just like setting up the camera and doing time lapses. So there's that, which is not the end of the world, but you know, that's one thing. The other thing was, because there were so many people involved, like we kind of started, you know, getting each other's ways to an extent. So as you saw in the hallway shot, the blue hallway shot, there's just like people walking through and going across the hall, and just, there was a lot of chaos. So I'm gonna end the video now with some B-roll of the final, and they turned out pretty cool. Like, again, it's all DIY. Pretty much everything we used wood-wise was from pallets. And I think everything was from pallets. So it was a really cool experience, and like, it's for a good cause. It's all volunteer. So, you know, I shot as much as I could. Did I get as much as I wanted to? Like I said, not really, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and check out these final shots. See you guys in the next one.